All right. You're not home 3 minutes. What's going on, CDs? What's going on, Anime Juke? You say I need to wait 3 minutes? You say I need to wait 3 minutes? I want to go ahead. I want to go ahead. It's okay. Yo, Holster, everyone, get on in here. Get on in here. It's good to see everyone here. Thank you for being patient with me. I know I had a busy day earlier today. So I just want to say thank you for being patient. You know, all the things happening in my life, good things, mind you, very good things. All the things happening in my daily life, especially for today. Had a wonderful time with my father, and now we're back here. And now I am fully prepared to give you my utmost best because we got another chapter of One Piece. I'm trying to pad for time for Anime Juke over here. The last chapter we had, the last one we had, it literally ended. You know what? It's probably best if you see my face when we do this. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this, huh? 3 minutes ought to come by. I'll swing on by very quickly. Okay. Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here. Welcome back to more One Piece. And I noticed that we are not going on break. We're not going on break after this chapter. What's about to happen in 1178? See, the thing is, the last chapter we got literally had Imu facing off against Loki, Needhogger, and Luffy, Nika himself, with Imu saying, by the end of this battle, no matter what happens, this fight will divide the world. So now we're about to have the ruler of the world go up against the biggest and most powerful dragon in existence, because Loki is way more powerful than Kaido, and we have Luffy literally has the advantage of Toon Force. So now, let's see what happens in chapter 1178. I believe 3 minutes have passed. Chapter 1178, Waking from a Nightmare. Reader request, Kid being chased by a bull charging at his cape. By Anna Koinat. Anna Koinat. Yeah, I want to say Anna Koinat. Yeah, by Anna Koinat. And this is the first time we see Kid ever since he got bodied by Shanks. Mind you, this reader request is not a canon look at Kid now, because we don't know what's going on with Kid. Last we saw him, he got bodied by Shanks, and his entire crew was left sinking into the sea. Last time we saw it, chapter 1178, Waking from a Nightmare. And we have Frankie, Nami, Sanji, and Jinbei. Mind you, they're all keeping tabs on the pieces. They're all keeping tabs on the pieces of Killingham. Killingham is still in pieces right now. And Brook and Usopp are in the background going, "Hey, guys!" Oh, no. No, that's Luffy. Sorry, because Jinbei says, "Hey, guys!" Luffy? What? That's Usopp and Brook! And he flew over and dropped off Brook and Usopp because they were damaged earlier on. They were hurt by the skull blast grass earlier. Take care of them. What's happening over there? You want backup? I'll call if I need help, but for now you should keep your distance. Loki's gonna get pretty reckless. Coming from you? And here, Luffy has not lost that look because after witnessing one of his crewmates being bodied by Imu, Luffy is all like, "Oh no, we about to throw hands." Loki's gonna get pretty reckless. Coming from you? And then we get Imu speaking. Some years ago, a ship of giants was spotted at sea. Their captain was especially gigantic, but they shrouded themselves in deep mist, attacking only government assets whilst remaining unseen. And then Loki just lets off Thorheim, which just incinerates the area where Imu is. And it just implodes. That whole place just gets nuked. Hey, I wanted to beat the bad guy. And Luffy starts running on air straight towards Imu. At the same time as this, rumors spread far and wide of a massive flying creature. Darn, she escaped. Too tiny. Where are you? And so the dots connect. There you are! You'll pay for what you did to Usopp and Brook! And while that's happening, Emu jumps out of Gunko's body, shocking Luffy. Something popped out! If only thou wouldst vanish off the face of the earth, as rocks did. And Emu! Oh Lord, it's actually happening. Diabolical covenant. And Emu takes out their tendrils and tries to do the same exact thing that they did to rocks. They are actually trying to Domi Reversi not only Loki, but Luffy as well! Diabolical covenant. In exchange for a portion of thy lifespan, I will give ye greater strength. In return, ye shall hate one another. Domi Reversi. And then Luffy and Loki are looking at each other, and then they, I told you! Oh, what if Emu tries to Domi Reversi Loki? What if that happens? And I said, I don't think it's gonna happen because their will is too strong. Oh no! But what happens? I'm scared for the day when Loki gets Domi Reversi. I said no, because Rox was resisting the whole time. If your will is strong, even Domi Reversi can't work on you! And here we have both Loki and Luffy knocking away Emu's tendrils going, what was that for? That didn't even hurt. Get off of me! And what did you just say about Rox? As I suspected, ye are both. Because there's something about Luffy and Loki where they can't get Domi Reversi'd. They can't be Domi Reversi'd. Something that even Rox himself could not fully resist. Diabolical Covenant and Domi Reversi, and both Luffy and Loki resisted them both. Gum. The target's so small I can't fight like this. And Luffy goes in and punches Emu's body with Gum Don Gatling! And starts punching Emu's shadow body and punching holes in it. Ragnir! Look out, Luffy! Whoa, wait! And we see the piece, this malformed piece of Emu, as Loki, now in his human state, is preparing to bring Ragnir right on Emu, and he hits Emu and freezes Emu with Gunko's body in Nibelheim. So Loki is capable of creating a full-on element and freezes Emu in an entire giant block of ice, along with Gunko. Whoa, you can do that as a finisher? Wait, I haven't gotten it enough. Yes. And then Luffy loses energy and gets all shriveled up after, running out of Gear 5 energy. I don't know who that is in there, but this is the quickest solution. I was just too big before. Fisherman Village, Elbaf. Just put out the fire! I thought Loki got rid of the monsters, but he didn't leave us much better off. Huntsman Village. So it turns out Loki didn't kill King Harold. Well, I feel bad for that part, but none of it is! Looks what he's done to the village, just like always!
Zeus, keep sending that rain down, Zeus!
I'm trying! Ocean current, shoulder throw! Mizugo kono, kairiyoi ponjiyoi! I love saying Jinbei's Fishman karate moves, just the way it says. Mizugo kono! And then he just throws the water from from the ocean clouds and starts to help douse out the fire. Then we get Lilith going,
There's only so much the ODC system can do.
Western Village. Yeah! And we have Dory, Brogy, Stanzin, Harudin, and Zoro all standing amidst all the giants that they freed.
Is it over? If they flip back to white, it's a success.
But if they get back up, it wasn't enough.
I'm sorry, captains. I was taken over by some wicked urge. Don't let it bother you. We failed to resist it too.
And it shows some other giants who are still there.
Ye done, captains! How dare you!
Still a handful of them left.
And they all start to make their way to the last couple of giants who are still Domi Reversi'd.
Hang on. I'll handle.
And then Chopper comes in out of nowhere and slaps these giants in the back.
What? Chopper?
And then the shadows that's in their bodies, the shadows in their bodies that's possessing them literally come off of their bodies. It's like they've been possessed by imps. And then they forcibly Domi Reversi after Chopper slaps them.
Huh?
Hey, Zoro!
What did you just do?
I don't know why, but all I have to do is hit them, and it cures their demonic power.
Is it because you're such a good doctor?
What? You think so? I mean, don't butter me up, you jerk.
But that must be it. Well done. That clears up this area. What about elsewhere?
I have so many questions. I have so many questions as to what Chopper has done, and specifically why Chopper slapping these demonized giants in the back is actually freeing them from possession. Ozzy, good to see you. You're late, but you're here. Don't worry. I just got home before 5 o'clock, and I started at 5:05, so there's still time. Join in with everybody else.
No visible enemies around Crossman Village, but we're dealing with fire.
Bruce Village has no enemies, but plenty of fire.
And everyone sees all the fire that's all around Elbaf right now in the Sun World.
There's just a fire to put out. Get confirmation of whether the demons are alive or dead.
Owl Library.
Saul.
And we have Robin with Saul.
What's it mean? The fire was definitely raging on the inside here, but I don't see a single charred book. The shelves are all empty.
Bro, not only is the Owl Library saved, but all the books inside of the library are already gone. So even if the library went up in smoke, not a single book is in the library. Biblo took them. Biblo took them all.
The fire was definitely raging on the inside of here, but I don't see a single charred book. The shelves are all empty. I don't see Biblo the Owl either.
Let's hope for the best. Did he remove all the books? That would be wonderful, but where is Biblo now?
So Biblo's gone, along with all the books. Biblo got out. Who is Biblo? Biblo is the owl in charge of the library of Elbaf that also holds all the books from Ohara that the giants came and got, which includes information that Vegapunk did so much research on that the world government came to kill him at Egghead. All that information saved by the giants from the Ohara incident. All of it, all of Ohara's history is in those books, along with the history of the giants too. All of them are gone from the library before the fire could even get a single book. Biblo got the books and cleared out. And the fact that none of the Holy Knights noticed Biblo get out? Oh, Biblo's the MVP for the information of Ohara and Elbaf. Bro.
I don't see Biblo the Owl either.
Let's hope for the best. Did he remove all the books? That would be wonderful, but where is Biblo now?
And then we cut to Sanji and everyone else.
Once we finally started fighting back, it didn't take long. It's not like this was an all-out war against the whole organization. Knights from the Holy Land or not, it's only 3 of them. If anything, they were punching above their weight against Elbaf. What happened to Great Emu?
Outside the western village. And we cut to outside the western village. And we have the pieces of Somers. We have the pieces of Somers. Somers in pieces. The upper half of his body is slowly coming back together. Even because it has the lower half of his head and the upper half of his head. And it has his heart. His heart is separated from his body. And then he puts his head back together.
Yeah, curse you. Yeah.
Team Luffy.
Loki, food.
You think I have food? Go to the village. Why do you look like that?
Food.
And we have Emu, who's, frozen in this block of ice, and then Emu just straight up disappears. Sacred Marijois. Bro, what happened to the city outside of Pangaea Castle? Because it's in ruins. What happened to the town outside of Pangaea Castle? It's in ruins. Am I looking at this right? Am I looking at this right? Those are whole buildings. Those are entire buildings. And they're destroyed outside of Pangaea Castle. Sacred Marijois, Chamber of Flowers, Pangaea Castle. And Emu is in the Chamber of Flowers and speaks. 5 elders.
Yes, Great Emu?
I will be leaving the Holy Land for a time. Um, Emu's leaving. The ruler of the world, who has been in Marijois for God knows how long, never seen anywhere except the Chamber of Flowers and the empty throne and that mysterious vault that has a giant straw hat inside. No. What do you mean we're getting a chapter after this? No. Everyone. Hold up. No. What do you mean? We thought it was a bad idea when one of the 5 elders left. We thought it was bad when just Saturn, making his way to Egghead. We thought that was a bad situation. It became an even worse situation when all of the elders pulled up just to stop Vegapunk's message. All of them. All the elders. Y'all don't understand! The elders rolling up was literally single-handedly one of the most traumatic moments to ever happen in One Piece, period. The people that we saw as the head honchos, other than Emu, rolling up, all leaving the Holy Land showing up on Egghead was one of the most jaw-dropping moments in the entire series. And now, at 1178, the ruler of the world is about to leave. No. People are going to die. You don't understand. People are about to die. This is way worse. This is way worse. This is way worse than all of the elders combined. Even the elders are bewildered because you get like the question mark and 2 exclamation points over Emu saying, I'm about to leave. The ruler of the world is leaving their home to go down to the lower world to do something. We don't know what it is, but it's about to get very bad. I don't know how to put this into grander words. The elders showing up in the manga, in the anime, I don't have good feelings at all. This is like Sephiroth at the end. This is like Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2 saying, I don't want to be here anymore. Let me go and leave and handle the Keyblade, the chosen wielder of the Keyblade myself before we get to the end of the game. This is like Sephiroth coming to find us before we get to the end of Final Fantasy. This is like Zeus coming to find us before we get to the end of God of War. This is like Doc Ock coming to find us at the end before the end of Spider-Man. This is like Lucilius from Grand Blue Fantasy coming to find us before the end of the game. This is the worst possible situation to ever happen in One Piece. This is worse than Whitebeard making his way to Marineford to fight them to rescue Ace. This is worse than the Gorosei trying to keep Luffy from awakening and was willing to upset Kaido in order to stop the power of Nika from awakening. This is worse than the 5 elders showing up on Egghead to keep the message of Vegapunk and the Void Century and Nika and Joy Boy and all the history of the world, and even the fact that 200 meters of water has risen over 100 years. This is worse than that. The big bad of the series is no longer staying put. This is worse because everything we see Emu do outside of Marie Joie is merely just possessing another person. And I said this, what we're experiencing is Emu using someone's body as a proxy. Literally using someone else's being in order to further their own ends. This Emu didn't even bother showing up when Rox and company were at God Valley. Merely used Saturn's body as a proxy and Domi reversied him then. But now we have Emu, after failing to Domi reverse both Nika and Needhogger, decides, you know what? If I can't do it through a proxy, I guess it's time for me to come find you myself. This is like All for One telling Midoriya, I'm done with All Might. Now you have my full attention. Y'all don't understand what this means. Bad things are about to happen. Way worse than we could have possibly imagined. I was scared when Garling sat down in place of Saturn because I thought, oh, this is a no-nonsense guy. He's gonna get stuff moving. No! Emu said, 5 elders. I will be leaving the Holy Land for a time. What do you mean? I don't know what else to say. The ruler of the world, one of the biggest bads of the entire series, is leaving the Holy Land. Physically leaving. Yeah, it's like Thanos saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself." This is like the Infinity Saga. This is like the Infinity Saga. This is bad. 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 We spoke about Emu stepping in because the Holy Knights couldn't get stuff done in Elbaf. And now Emu possessing Gunko is way worse simply because now Emu is not going to be using anyone as a proxy. Emu is going to come there personally. No, no, no. This is bad. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. What more can I say? This is bad. The final boss is leaving their final boss stage and leaving. Okay. All right. All right. I feel like I screamed enough. What? Let me see what you guys have said. Let me check through. Biblo also has a size-changing devil fruit. Yeah. I bet there's a direct answer to those books, and let's pray that Biblo saved the books and not something even worse happened. Okay, I just googled it. I'm glad Summer and PCs. Yo, is his heart mechanical? No, it doesn't look mechanical. That's just like the ventricles and the veins sticking out from the heart itself. Is Somers a potential kid victim if he ever gets out that dang ocean? Maybe the revolutionaries made their moves. It was on fire not too long ago. That's true. So what we could be looking at is the ruins of Marijois. Whatever happened. And mind you, here's one thing I didn't notice. There's people screaming, like going, ah! It's echoing from the ruins of the town outside of Pangaea Castle. There's literally the sound effect of people raising their voice over the ruins of Marijois. So something major has happened at Marijois. Either the revolutionaries made their move, or the Blackbeard pirates did something. Either one of those two. I'm about to pull up to Elbaf because Loki and Luffy handled Emu like it was nada in that Avatar state. At least Loki and Luffy have a rest period before Emu arrives. This is going to be something very, very, very bad. Yes. But why, though? It can't be, let's see. Also good to see Domi Reversi doesn't work on Luffy and Loki, which we got the reasoning before Luffy cut Emu off. And not only that, but it's really like, Emu says, like, so the both of them, as I suspected, ye are both. And it's not like Luffy cut him off. It's really Luffy is just an inner monologue of Emu. Because they say, like, they know that they know what's going on with Luffy and Loki to make it so that they can't be Domi Reversi'd at all. Because they basically just resisted Emu completely. Like it was nothing. Something that not even Rocks, who in his prime was not able to shake off. Both Luffy and Loki just shook off Domi Reversi like it was nothing. Like, get off of me. What are you doing? Literally. So there's something even greater going on with Luffy and Loki that not even Rocks himself possessed. So that's something to take into consideration. I don't think Loki has the will of D, though. But here's the thing. Willpower is not just specifically linked to the will of D. That's not where the willpower comes from. Because anyone with a strong will is capable of surviving. Because, not everyone with a D in their, not everyone that doesn't have a D in their name, some of them are on par with some of the people that carry D in their name. And their strong willpower allows them to survive despite the odds. So it's not something that's specific to D holders. It's not something that's specific to people with D in their name. So there's something else going on. Either it's an offset of both Loki and Luffy's powers, or it's because their will is incredibly strong in general. And like I said, will of D and willpower are not the same thing, because you can have a strong will and survive stuff. Because Zoro doesn't have a D in his name, and he survived so many things that should have killed him. And yet still gets back up again. He's like a Saiyan, just like Goku is. But not on the same level as Luffy, but you understand. Let's see, was his dad part of his will of D a bloodline thing? Yeah, but you have to have a D in your name. Harold wasn't. Rocks is obviously, but Harold is not a D. No, Harold is not a D. Or maybe his mama, or maybe he has some link with the will of D, a side trait in him. Nah. Will of D is for people with D in their names. Loki does not have a D, so that does not apply to him. If I had to throw a guess in, it's like they're awakened, Awakened Devil Fruit users. I'm not too sure about that one. Remember, Zebek was Domi Reversi, but the good thing was someone able to fight it, but not completely like Luffy and Loki. Not 100% sure. Maybe it's that aura that they have. This could be very catastrophic. Yeah. Could be that willpower, their own personal wills. Yep, said that before. Because I feel like the immunity to being just having a Devil Fruit is too broad of a weakness. So I think the way to be immune is to be an awakened Devil Fruit user. That's my guess. Here's the thing. We don't even know the full caveats of Imu's powers that make it so that Devil Fruit users such as Luffy and Loki are capable of resisting his powers. Their determination, the heart, etc. If y'all know what you mean. I saw something that's weird about that heart. That heart ain't normal at all. Only thing that was missing was a comic expression, like when Hancock hit him with the Metal no Mi. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. The willpower. And with him, I'm referring to Luffy. Yeah. So what we have here is first of all the books are gone from the library, and so is Biblo the owl, and we don't know what happened to those books, but we do know that both the books and Biblo are gone. I don't think anything bad has happened to the books. They're just flat out gone, and I don't think the Holy Knights have anything to do with it, simply because they just wanted to destroy the books, not hold the books and take them someplace else, but simply destroy the library in the hopes that the books inside would get destroyed. So I don't think anything bad happened to the books. Biblo just said, I'm just guessing that Biblo took the initiative to get all those books out and get them away from the fire and get them someplace safe. But with that going on, Imu tries to Domi Reversi both Loki and Luffy, and it doesn't work. This is the first instance of someone just completely and utterly resisting Imu's influence before Imu can try and take them over. And Luffy's all like, what is that? What was that for? That doesn't even hurt. And then Imu suspects that there's something going on with him. But not only that, we have a moment where some of the giants are still like Domi Reversi'd, and then Chopper comes in and slaps some of them in the back, and they get forcibly reversed. They get forcibly reversed back into their normal states. Something that, both Zoro and the rest of the giants were more than happy to kill the rest of these giants for. Chopper's just been slapping them in the back, and that's been setting them free. So there's something else going on that allows people to return to normal. So that's one thing. And of course, because of Loki just randomly blasting everywhere, a lot of Elbaf is still on fire because of Loki. So that's Loki's fault. We find out the books are gone in the library, every single one, not a single charred book. And it shows, and Saul said the fire was definitely raging on the inside here, meaning that the fire did make it inside of the library. But all the books are still gone, though, every single one, and so is Biblo. So the fire got inside the library, but every single shelf is empty. Then we have Killingham just wondering what happened to Great Emu. And then we have Salmer's body slowly coming back together again. And Salmer's is feeling all this pain. And after Loki froze Emu inside of Nibelheim, along with Gunko, Emu just straight up disappears and goes back to the Holy Land and says, I will be leaving the Holy Land for a time. So that's where we're at right now. Because I find it weird how a Chopper, a Devil Fruit user, and having no hockey is able to stop them. That is very interesting. Don't know why I'm watching this. I'm just getting hardcore spoiled. I don't know why you are either. And I'm always subscribed to the idea of Monster Point being Chopper's awakened form, and Chopper eating a Rumble Ball and going Monster Point is him forcing an awakening transformation. See, but here's my thing, though. If it was an awakening transformation, where's the cloud that goes around him? Where's the cloud that signifies an awakened Zoan user? Where's the cloud around the shoulders? That's the thing. Not unless he's tweaking his body to where he can induce the transformation, but it's not 100% awakened. That's just an idea. But what we have here is one of the worst possible scenarios to ever happen in One Piece. The ruler of the world, the most dangerous foe that anyone in the universe, in the world of One Piece could ever hope of facing, is now about to leave their domain to to do something. It's not going to be good. This is the same individual that said, please use the ancient weapon on Lelusia. What for? Simply because it's closer. Test it out. Destroy an entire kingdom. Simply because it's closer to us. Simply because. This is the same individual that took advantage of Harold just to manipulate him and then use him as a puppet so that they could rule over Elbaf and turn every single giant into their own personal muscle. This is the same individual that sent 3 holy knights to Elbaf to kidnap children in order to coerce all of the giants into following their orders and working for them. Against their will, pretty much, just holding their children hostage. This is the same individual that wanted to burn down an entire nation's history so that the only history they have is that of servitude to the world government and themselves. The fact that this individual wants to leave the most revered and most secured place, even more than Impel Down, the most prestigious location that anyone with half a brain thinks, I never want to go there because I may never come back. Because since I'm just a lowly human that lives in the lower world, they could turn me into a slave or worse. The very individual who rules over the entire world, rules over the elders, rules over the holy knights, rules over every single celestial dragon, has just made the decision to leave for a while. That while is about to be very bad. I don't know what Emu intends to do, but here's my thing. You know what I think? I think Emu leaving is going to be the point where where it gets revealed what they look like. Because there's no way Emu's just going to move throughout the world and just be in constant shadow. I feel like this might be the time when Emu finally reveals themselves and we see what they are. I'm just saying. This just feels like it's going to be one of those moments. So, now you all know what's about to happen. It is time for One Piece Summary. So let's go ahead and get that summary out. Hopefully they updated it so that way I can read the whole thing out. Yes! And it's a long one. It's a long one too. Summary time! Okay. It's a bit too close. Sorry about that. Luffy quickly brings the unconscious Usopp and Brook to his crew, and after he drops them off, he prepares to rejoin Loki. Frankie asks Luffy if he needs backup, and he says he'll call them if he needs their help, but for now, they should keep their distance as Loki is about to go full all out. Speaking of Loki tries to blast Emu with his lightning breath as Emu mentions how some years ago a ship full of giants was spotted at sea, and their captain being much larger than the rest. They also shrouded themselves in a deep layer of mist while attacking world government-affiliated ships. Emu dodges Loki's attack due to their size and continues saying that around the same time, rumors started circulating about a massive flying creature, which they assume was Loki. Just as Luffy arrives, he sees Emu project themselves from Gunko's body as a shadow creature, much like how he did with Saturn in God Valley. Emu tells Luffy and Loki that they wish they would just vanish from the face of the world like rocks did, and stabs them both with their shadowy tendrils to initiate Akuaru. Once they have them, they tell them in exchange for some of their life, they will be granted tremendous strength and be forced to attack one another out of hate. Emu then performs Domi Reversi on the both of them. However, it has no effect on either of them, and they shake off their tendrils in annoyance, with Loki demanding to know more about what they said about rocks. See, the thing is that Emu doesn't understand is that Loki revered rocks. So to find out that Loki found out that rocks died at God Valley, but Loki doesn't know that rocks died at God Valley because of Emu. So once that knowledge comes to light, yeah, Loki's gonna go above and beyond to make sure that Emu dies, because Loki did his hardest, tried his hardest in order to join Rox's crew. To find out the person you were fighting is the reason why not only your father died, but also the pirate you wanted to join died as well? No, that's double reason for Loki to side with Luffy to bring down Imu. Let me see. Surprisingly, Imu suspected that the two of them would be immune to their powers, but just as they are about to explain why, Luffy attacks Imu with Gomu Gomu no Dawn Gatling, while Loki changes back to his original form and wields Ragnir in its hammer form to freeze Imu and Gunko in a huge block of ice with Niflheim, after which Luffy changes back to normal in exhaustion. So as it stands right now, Killingham is in pieces. Somers is slowly coming back to pieces with his heart still outside. And then Gunko is pretty much the only one who's been completely immobilized, because not only is Gunko free of Imu's control, but also, just completely frozen in a block of ice. And seeing as how Gunko was able to momentarily resist Imu thanks to her memories coming back, I can see a conversation between herself and Brooke playing out. If she's able to speak to Brooke. But we'll see. Because Gunko seems like the one who would most likely explain things, especially because of her relationship with Brooke. So, there. All across Elbaf, the giants are trying to put out the spreading fire, with the Straw Hats and Lilith also helping. While the giants appreciates Loki for dealing with the MMAs and acknowledge their guilt for suspecting Loki for patricide, they nevertheless took offense on him for causing even more fire. In Western Village, meanwhile, Zoro and the rest of the giants managed to turn a majority of the demonized giants back to normal. Zoro prepares to handle the remaining ones just as Chopper arrives and hits them both, which turns them normal. Zoro prepares to... confused, Zoro asks how Chopper was able to do that, but even Chopper doesn't fully understand how it is possible. Zoro just leaves it at Chopper being a great doctor, while with the other giants concurring. Harudean inquires about the current situation, and he is told that there are no more visible enemies, so for now they just need to put the fires out, along with confirming if the knights are dead. So if they get to Somers before his body gets pieced back together again, Somers is about to be in some serious pain. In the Owl Library, Saul and Robin are shocked to see that every single book is missing, not burned up at all. On top of that, Biblo is missing too, with Robin hoping that he took all the books out before the fire could destroy them. However, that raises the question as to where Biblo is now. Back outside, Sanji comments on how they were able to get control of the situation once they started fighting back, though Frankie adds they weren't waging an all-out war with a major organization this time. Just 3 people, but nevertheless concedes that these 3 were still capable enough to throw an entire nation into chaos. Outside Western Village, Somers, who is reduced only to his dissected head and heart, begins to reattach his head, though he is in pain doing so. So, this dude got hurt so bad that his body coming back together again is actually painful to him. Meanwhile, Luffy asks Loki to get him some food, which he refuses to do, saying he should go to the village instead. But that just leads to Luffy asking Ragnir instead. Unbeknownst to them, Imu's shadowy body disappears from within the ice. Back in Marijois, Imu contacts the 5 elders and informs them that they will be leaving the castle for a bit, to their surprise. So chapter notes, Luffy moves the unconscious Brook and Usopp away from the fight. Luffy and Loki fight Imu. Imu extends out of Gunko's body and attempts to use Domi Reversi on the duo, though both remain unaffected. Loki freezes Imu and Gunko in an ice block. Imu disappears from the ice block and tells the 5 elders that they intend to leave Marijois for a while. Nami, Jinbei, and Lilith continue to extinguish the fires across Elbaf, and they're doing a good job so far. All demonized giants have been restored to normal, so the Domi Reverse Seed has been completely reversed on all those affected within Elbaf. All we have left is literally contending with the Holy Knights who are left and dealing with the fire that is across Elbaf. That's it! Imu's gone. The biggest threat to Elbaf has momentarily retreated. The Holy Knights have been subdued. One's frozen in ice. Another's been dismembered and held by the Straw Hat crew. And Somers is slowly coming back together, but very slowly. If someone steps or stabs into Somers' heart, I wonder if that'll be enough to kill him. Because I feel like out of all the Holy Knights, Somers is the one that needs to die the most. Biblo and the books of the Owl Library have disappeared, and outside of the Western Village, Somers has survived and puts his head back together. And the sheer fact that we are not going on break after this revelation. This is something I normally would have expected. This is something I would have expected to be something that we take a break on before we get to the first week of April. I was not expecting this chapter to end where one of the biggest foes that needs to be subdued before the new dawn of this world can come about. I did not expect Emu to say, I will be leaving the Holy Land for a time. Who knows how long it's been since Emu physically left? You know what would be really scary? If Emu takes no one with them. If Emu just goes on their own. And what is going to be the manner in which Emu leaves? Is it going to be with an escort? Or is Emu just going to use their powers to travel? Because I'm kind of terrified on the manner of which Emu leaves. Because if Emu leaves under their own power, that's bad. That's very bad. Not even Saturn came on his own. Saturn was escorted by an entire fleet along with Kizaru, a whole admiral at his beck and call. But if Emu, and this is a scary thing, if Emu leaves and they leave of their own power by themselves with no one else with them, it is bad for everyone. Because that means that Emu intends to handle things on their own with absolutely no interference or no assistance from anyone. And the worst thing you can do, or worst thing you can see, is the final boss of a stage deciding, I don't need no ads. I don't need no ads. I don't need no minions. I don't need no one else going with me. I'm gonna handle. Fine, I'll do it myself. Literally, it's like Thanos showing up without a single member of the Black Order, coming to do things for himself. This is literally that. This is literally Thanos showing up to the rest of the Avengers to take the Mind Stone and completing the Infinity Gauntlet. This because Thanos didn't have anybody else, just himself, and then he proceeded to body everyone and successfully wipe out half of all life in the entire universe. And for what? 7 years? 7 years the universe went without for so long? The devastation in Thanos' wake because of all this? Because of that one scene saying like, fine, I'll do it myself, so many people died. From that one sentence, half of life in every area that had an Infinity Stone, just so many people died. Millions of people died before we even got to the snap that wiped out half of all life in the universe. Not the galaxy, not the planet, not the solar system, the entire universe, all realms, all places, half of all life resulted from Thanos saying, I'll handle it, I'll do it myself. This is Emu's I'll do it myself moment. And I'm terrified. Because Emu's powers are immense. Absolutely immense. We know there are limits to them. We know there are limits to them, but we don't know the absolute uppermost limit. We've seen what happens when someone with a covenant, they die, the case with Harold. And Emu said that it takes a great toll on us. It takes a great toll to give these covenants out to these individuals so that they are immortal and they have incredible strength. So we know there is limitations. You also know that people who have been Domi reversied can be reversed from that forcibly. So we know that there's another caveat there, but we don't know the full scope of Emu's powers, and it is vast. It is incredibly vast. And I'm terrified because this person with vast powers that look like they even transcend that of devil fruits themselves, I'm terrified of this person going down into a world where they view humans as nothing more than insects and bugs. I'm terrified of this individual leaving the one place they've always been and going down into a world that has no idea that they exist. Remember, and here's the thing. For countless years, no one knows who Emu is. The secret of Emu existing as the ruler of the world, that only the Gorosei know, that only the Holy Knights know, that only those who, in the case of Cobra, are led to see Emu, and Emu reveals themselves right before that person dies. No one knows who Emu is. The ruler of the world, whose very existence is so secret that Cobra died because of this knowledge. Well, one of the reasons why he died because of this knowledge. They're now deciding to go down to the world of man. The world of the humans, the lower world, the scum world, the land where humans, who are nothing more than playthings, tools to be used, they are going down there. They're about to make their existence known. And this is the reason why I said this could be the moment where we find out who Emu is and what they look like, and find out if it's a man or a woman. A lot of people are leaning in the direction of it actually being Queen Lily, but we don't know. Those are just the theories that are running that's running around right now. That's a theory, but we don't know who or what Emu is, how they got this power, and how they've existed for this long. There are so many questions, and the fact that we end this chapter with Emu saying, "I'm leaving," not just using someone as a proxy, but saying, "I'm leaving," and we don't go on a break from this. This is horror. This is a very bad situation. I don't know what else to say. I will be leaving the Holy Land for a time. You know, they need to test the Great Doctor theory. They need to have Gerd hit a Domi Reversi Giant to see if they turn back. Never mind then, no way to test that theory. I retract that former paragraph. Yes, since all of the giants have been turned, because the two giants that were, cursing Dory and Brogy, those were the last two giants, and they got slapped in the back by Chopper, meaning that once they got reversed, they turned back to normal. So, what do you mean we're not going on break from this? What do you mean? What? That's crazy. Emu's leaving. I'm not ready for what Emu's about to do. I don't know what else to say. That I know I was screaming a whole lot earlier on. I'm sorry for everyone's ears, but the ruler of One Piece is about to leave Marijois. The most well-kept secret, well, one of them anyway, one of the most well-kept secrets in the entire One Piece verse is physically about to leave for a while. Why? Why? Why are they leaving? Have things progressed to such a point where they need to physically be there to make a difference? Can't use anyone as a proxy? I fine, I'll do it myself. So many questions. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we're gonna pick up with this moment directly after. I think we're gonna cut back to the Straw Hats helping out Elbaf deal with this situation, maybe sort of deal with the Holy Knights and see what they're gonna decide to do there. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. Oh, snap. I'm just now realizing what that is. Saturn was literally squashed under Loki's hand initially, and Somers is still left inside of the crater that was left by Loki's handprint into the ground. I was wondering what that was until I actually looked at it, and it's literally Loki's handprint with Saturn's, body just like squashed underneath it. with him slowly piecing himself together. Um, this, I want to be honest with you, and I don't think I've ever said this about a chapter of One Piece over the almost 10 years that I have been reading it. This ending terrifies me. This ending of this chapter terrifies me because Emu is leaving. That is the worst possible thing you can ever hear from one of the big bads of a story. This one place they've been at the entire time, now they're about to leave. Things are about to, and I thought things were bad when Emu possessed Gunko and was displaying their powers to everyone. You know, like turning Dorian Brogy and doing that to the rest of the giants and exercising so much power that it seemed like there's the only way that Emu can be stopped is if Loki and Luffy join in. But that's just from Emu using someone else as a proxy to exercise their powers through. Now the physical being themselves is about to leave Marijois to go. It's like your parents hearing you make a ruckus downstairs in the house, and then you hear them says like, "All right, I'm about to come downstairs." Everything gets quiet. You don't want that interaction. You don't want the parent to come downstairs because you messing up and being bad downstairs. Now the parent is coming down to chastise you. You about to get that whooping because you already were told once. I keep saying this. There's a reason why for the past 10 minutes it sounds like I've been saying the same thing, but Emu's Emu's coming. Emu's coming to for everybody. This ending is terrifying. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. But that's all I got. I can't believe this. This is about to be bad. This is about to be bad. Very bad. But I got to bring it to a close. I got to bring it to a close. And we'll talk about this again on Tuesday because Tuesday is the last day of March. We'll pick this up again and we'll discuss it further at the One Piece Reflections for the end of the month. But this has been chapter 1178 of One Piece. We already got the anime coming back, what, on the 5th, the 4th? We already got the anime coming back to start the Elbaf arc. And we literally continue the Elbaf arc with the ruler of the world saying, I'm relieving Marijois for a while. What? So, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. To everyone, whether you're tuning in here for the very first time or if you've been here for a minute, thank you for tuning in regardless. You could have chosen to be anywhere else in the world on any part of YouTube, but you chose to be here, and for that, I am eternally grateful. I'm done. It's time to move on to Sakamoto Days. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out the membership and Patreon because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Things are about to get from worse to catastrophic.